make you all happy to learn that our circulation this morning was the greatest in New York, 684,000.
They've all left an everlasting mark on cinema, even if they don't have a certain accolade to show for it.
To maintain the art of motion pictures as our primary mandate.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 filmmakers that have never won a Best Director Oscar.
I can't handle this! I can't! I'm the Swan Queen, you're the one who never left the Corps.
For this list, we're taking a look at prominent directors that have never taken home an Academy Award for their directing work. However, filmmakers who have been recognized with honorary Oscars and wins in other categories are still eligible.
I'd go over 12% for that.
Look, I ordered coffee, right? Now, we've been here a long f***ing time. She's only filled my cup 3 times. I mean, when I order coffee, I want it filled 6 times.
As long as they have never achieved the highest honor for a director. Number 10, Sergio Leone.
Such ingratitude after all the times I've saved your life.
When we think of the spaghetti western genre, this Italian filmmaker immediately comes to mind.
Alive or dead, it's your choice. Let Red go.
Leone will always be remembered for his thrilling Dollars trilogy, starring Clint Eastwood as the man with no name.
I don't think it's nice you laughing. You see, my mule don't like people laughing. It's the crazy idea you're laughing at him.
He'd follow up on those 3 films with the equally epic Once Upon a Time trilogy. While Leone is often considered one of the most influential directors, he never merited more than a Golden Globe nomination for his final film, and arguably his magnum opus, Once Upon a Time in America.
Look who's here. Fat Mo's Boneyard Boys.
Which reminds me, how's that cancer in your gut coming along, Chicken Joe?
Number 9, Robert Altman.
We have the dog in my belt.
This is completely destroyed, completely ruined. It's a piece of trash.
It's a $35 belt. Shut up!
Where most filmmakers would retire long before turning 81, Robert Altman continued making movies until his death in 2006.
It's a detective story?
Set in London.
Well, not really. Most of it takes place at a shooting party in a country house, sort of like this one, actually.
That same year, Altman received an honorary Oscar for his enduring career in film.
The buses are empty and look almost menacing.
While it was great to see Altman finally receive an Academy Award after several nominations, it's still hard to believe he never actually won a competitive Oscar.
My God, they've shot him!
Hot lips, you incredible nincompoop. It's the end of the quarter.
Nevertheless, Altman will always be remembered as a natural filmmaker, bringing us timeless classics like MASH, Nashville, and The Player.
Listen, Larry, guess who's making promises about getting pictures made to writers in parking lots?
Number 8, Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino is one of the coolest and most beloved directors still making movies today.
You gotta make some phone calls? You gotta call some people? Well, then do it! And then get the f*** out of my house before she gets here.
Crafting some of the most enthralling dialogue ever in movies like Pulp Fiction and Django Unchained, the Academy couldn't deny Mr. Tarantino 2 Best Original Screenplay Oscars.
Gentlemen, you had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
However, they've yet to award him for his directing. While the script is usually the highlight of any Tarantino production, this filmmaking visionary also injects unparalleled style, atmosphere, and references into every shot he takes.
I have a message for Germany. That you are all going to die.
Even if he made a dialogue-free movie, we're confident it'd still be a feat of directing. Number 7, Ingmar Bergman.
Jag skulle råda dig att inte öppna den dörren.
Du försöker bara skrämma mig.
Skyll dig själv.
This illustrious Swedish director made over 60 films and merited 3 Academy Awards for Best Foreign Film, 5 nominations for Best Original Screenplay, 1 for Best Picture, and 3 nods for Best Director throughout his esteemed career.
Stackars barn. Du menar oss? Nej då.
However, if you're keeping score, that means he has 0 Best Director Oscars to show for his achievements. Known for making commentary on death, illness, and human emptiness, maybe his movies were just too grim for the Academy to honor.
Kan jag hjälpa faster? Det är så mörkt.
Regardless, Bergman will forever go down as one of cinema's most poetic and passionate artists.
Du kan se honom när du vill.
Hur?
Men då måste du göra som jag säger.
The chess scene from The Seventh Seal in particular stands out as an immortal moment in movie history.
Villkoret är att jag får leva så länge jag står dig emot. Spelar jag dig matt, friar du mig.
Number 6. Federico Fellini.
È un personaggio del suo ricordo d'infanzia. Non ha niente a che vedere con una vera coscienza critica.
Federico Fellini accumulated 12 Academy Award nominations, 4 of which were for Best Director.
Lo sa che li ho seguiti tutti i suoi servizi attraverso il mondo. Anche a me piacerebbe tanto viaggiare, se ho la possibilità.
He additionally directed 4 films that went on to win the Best Foreign Language Film Oscar, including 8 and a Half.
Cosa devo fare? Allontanarmi, scomparire? Tu non sarai mai più con me lo stesso di prima. Non sarò più tua moglie io. Quando mi sposerai veramente?
Alas, this Italian neo-realist only has an honorary Oscar to his name. However, the impact he had on cinema is undeniable.
Completa armonia e grande felicità deve essere con voi. Le nozze celebrate sul mare sono predilette da Venere.
Almost every acclaimed modern filmmaker, from Martin Scorsese to Woody Allen, has drawn inspiration from his work.
Io non ti dico niente, ormai tu sei un uomo. Soltanto ricordati di non fare sciocchezze.
Never afraid to touch base on politics, religion, or sexuality, Fellini's movies are the stuff that dreams are made of.
Non è mia abitudine fermare le signore per la strada. Io ero là nella sala, frammista al pubblico.
Ah, pure lei era là a guardare? Bello spettacolo, bella roba.
Number 5. Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin received 2 honorary Academy Awards and finally won an Oscar for Best Original Score in 1973. But this icon of the silent movie era was never even nominated for Best Director.
You're right. What does it all mean? Where are we going?
You're going south, dear. Your hand's in my pocket.
Part of this was likely because the popularity of silent films started to die out in the 1930s, and Chaplin became an increasingly controversial figure in the 1940s.
You see, when I get shaved, I'm very nervous. I like something to look at. So I'm putting in glass walls and ceiling, so that when my head is turned this way, I shall have a view of the mountains.
Ah.
And when it's tipped this way, I shall have a view through the glass ceiling.
What's above the ceiling?
The ballroom.
Plus, slapstick comedies have rarely been taken seriously at the Oscars.
I said don't breathe, stupid. You can be most annoying at times.
In retrospect, though, the Academy must be kicking themselves for not recognizing The Little Tramp for his innovative direction. Number 4. David Fincher.
I want you to hit me as hard as you can. What? I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
He has made some of the most captivating psychological thrillers of the past 2 decades.
You hear me, Detective. I'm trying to tell you how much I admire you. And your pretty wife.
In addition, however, David Fincher has demonstrated significant range as a filmmaker, with heartwarming epics like The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, and fascinating, timely dramas like The Social Network.
You issued 24 million new shares of stock. You were told that if new investors came along... How much were your shares diluted? How much were his?
Fincher holds the highest spot of any living director on this list, giving us hope that he'll be able to put an Oscar on his mantle someday.
What's the most common double consonant in the English language?
Consonant?
The double L.
Double L.
And what's the one word that we know that he'll use in here at least once?
Kill.
Right.
That being said, what does this guy have to do to win a Best Director Oscar already?
I didn't come forward with my affair because I knew it would make me look really, really bad. But I don't care about that anymore. I just want to find my wife.
Number 3. Akira Kurosawa. It's shocking to think that the master behind Rashomon, The Seven Samurai, and Yojimbo only received 1 Best Director nomination during his career, for Ran.
塩につけずに持ち帰ればこの暑さじゃ
His films helped introduce Japanese cinema to Western audiences and influenced numerous other filmmakers around the world through his revolutionary cinematic techniques and human themes. Kurosawa's films might have been overlooked by the Academy for years, but they did at least recognize him with a Lifetime Achievement Oscar in 1990. It's only fitting that Steven Spielberg and George Lucas, who Kurosawa significantly impacted, presented him with this overdue prize. Number 2, Stanley Kubrick.
How are things going, Mr. Torrance?
Things could be better, Lloyd. Things could be a whole lot better.
Some of Stanley Kubrick's masterpieces, like The Shining and Eyes Wide Shut, were misunderstood upon release.
Life goes on. It always does. Until it doesn't. But you know that, don't you?
The Academy did acknowledge several of his films, though, including Dr. Strangelove and A Clockwork Orange.
I feel very low in myself. I can't see much in the future. And I feel that any second, something terrible is going to happen to me.
Despite his numerous nominations, Kubrick only won one Oscar for the astounding visual effects in 2001: A Space Odyssey. But Kubrick's movies only get better with time. Looking back on his incredible track record, it's shocking the Academy never presented him a Best Oscar for his groundbreaking contributions to cinema.
Do you believe in God?
The question is, does God believe in me?
But then again, all of the best artists are most appreciated when they're gone.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
Before we get to our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Il était 24h17, heure oceanique, quand j'arrivais dans les faubourgs d'Alphaville.
60 million people watch you every night of the week, Monday through Friday.
I have seen the face of God.
You just might be right, Mr. Beale.
Now that people want to know how the story ends, only a famous death will do.
I love those guys. I love them. I love anybody who bring in a house, Nick.
I know that.
Want them to feel comfortable.
I've abandoned my child.
Say it louder. Say it louder.
I've abandoned my child. I've abandoned my child. I've abandoned my boy.
Number 1, Alfred Hitchcock.
A few years ago, Mother met this man, and he talked her into building this motel. He could have talked her into anything.
That's right, Alfred Hitchcock, the master of suspense and arguably one of the greatest directors who ever lived, never won one competitive Oscar for directing.
It's unbelievable.
He wasn't even nominated for several of his pictures that are now his most respected works, like Strangers on a Train and Vertigo.
Why did you jump?
No, I can't tell you.
Why did you jump? What was there inside that told you to jump?
Please.
What?
Please don't ask me. Please don't ask me.
This Oscar injustice goes to show that it doesn't always matter if you've made some of the most iconic, influential, and important movies of all time. Even the best can go home empty-handed. But maybe knowing that he's created so many classics is the only reward a true director really needs.
What happened to the first 2 marriages?
My wives divorced me.
Why?
Oh, I think they said I led too dull a life.
Do you agree with our list? What other directors deserved Oscar gold?
People believe what they want to believe. Because the guy who made this was so good that it's real to everybody. And who's the master?
For more entertaining top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
You know something, you rich? I think this just might be my masterpiece.